Hey guys, today I wanted to do a video on health OCD. If you can just make sure you like and subscribe down at the bottom, and then just put any comments or any notes about any videos that you'd like me to do in the future. So before my OCD really got out of control, I had health OCD for years. I had a lot of different compulsions. Probably the first one I would say is I was reading books and listening to things online, Googling things, trying to figure out ways to stop my anxiety because my anxiety was just so high all the time. It wasn't to the point where it like completely took over my life, but I would say 2 to 5 hours a day I was pretty anxious, and like I said, I wasn't aware that I had OCD at the time. And first, one of the compulsions I was doing is I was researching all these different vitamins, and I was taking probably 10 to 15 different pills a day, B vitamins, calcium, magnesium, all this stuff to help with anxiety, to help with health, all this stuff, tons and tons of vitamins. I tried all kinds of diets. At one point, I pretty much did like a diet where I didn't eat any beans, I didn't eat any peppers, any tomatoes. I did no gluten. I did no dairy. I wouldn't eat any meat unless it was grass-fed beef or like organic chicken. I had literally like a 3.5 month period where I literally almost every meal, like even for breakfast, I didn't even eat eggs either. I had beets, avocados, chicken or beef, and sweet potatoes. That's it. That's all I ate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty fit during that time because I also was compulsively exercising probably for an hour and a half a day. I also meditated for probably 30 minutes to an hour a day. I was compulsively listening to audiobooks all the time, trying to learn about health. I read a book on the 150 most healthiest foods. I read a vitamin Bible, really boring book, but I learned a lot about vitamins, so I know a lot about vitamins. But a lot of compulsions, a lot of avoidance behaviors. It didn't help. It just made my anxiety really, really a lot worse. I was afraid of getting sick. I avoided alcohol. I avoided smoking cigarettes. Definitely wouldn't, partake in like weed, during that time or anything. It was just something where I was just so afraid of being uncomfortable that I just avoided anything and tried to find any way to make it better. And, what I really learned during that time, I guess you could say, is, it didn't necessarily help. It made me feel better at the time. Now, when my OCD really got bad again, I tried, when I had 3 hernias at the same time, and I started, thinking about my breathing saliva all the time. I still was afraid of having panic attacks. One of my biggest reasons why I got into health OCD, my health OCD got so bad, is I was trying to find a way to avoid having a panic attack because I had also magical thinking. I thought to myself that if I had a panic attack, that I would end up going into suicidal depression and end up killing myself because the panic attacks were so painful and so uncomfortable. I would have panic attack seizures. My eyes would blink, my tongue would go numb, my cheeks would like vibrate, my hands would constrict, I'd fall to the ground. It felt like I was just having someone, afterwards, it literally felt like someone just beat the crap out of me. And it was really, I had probably 20, that happened to me like 20 times in my life, and it freaked me out, scared the crap out of me. And one time when it happened, it continued happening for a long period of time, where I would just awake. I would just be awake for a few minutes, and I would take more medicine to try to go back to sleep. It was like a 2 or 3 week period. And how I ended up getting over it was I would make myself run every single day or exercise, and that became a new compulsion, eventually. Now, when it got really bad again, the way I ended up really getting over this, I guess for me, it was kind of a logical thing, but I ended up going to the doctor to get tested, and I got tested for like celiac, all this stuff, and the doctor was literally like, "You're healthy, you have no problems, you're not allergic to anything." And in my mind, I remember telling myself, I was like, I made myself feel this way, I made myself uncomfortable. I avoided all of these things because I just believed it, and it caused the problems. I would eat certain foods, my stomach would hurt because I was allergic to it. I would eat certain foods and I would become lethargic, and it was because I really believed it. I avoided alcohol like the plague because it would increase my intrusive thoughts, make me uncomfortable. And the way I really got over it is when it came to my compulsions with eating, I just started eating whatever I wanted. Now, well, what I mean by that is cake isn't good for every meal, but it's probably good to have a couple times a week. I'm not really a sweets person, to be honest, but if there's ice cream in the house, I'll definitely eat it. And I know it doesn't always make me feel great because I don't do super well with dairy in general. I don't know why, but and so it's good to have balance. I would say with dieting. If you're going to have a diet, that's fine. It's okay to have pasta. It's okay to have bread. If you're not allergic to it, your brain's just, you're like, oh, something else. So biggest thing I would say with diet is have balance. My grandfather told me when I was younger. It was like when I was 21, he was eating a piece of pie. He was like 75 and it was right before dinner. I'm like, Grandpa, why are you eating pie before dinner? He's like, I waited this long, he's like, I'm gonna eat my dessert before my meal. I'm not gonna save it till last anymore, and I think about that because it makes me laugh a little bit about, how serious I took that, and made it to such a point of becoming really illogical with it. And I think for me, when I ended up getting the test done and I did the exposures of eating those foods and not caring how I felt, really made a big difference. I was also really afraid of becoming sick because I was afraid it would make my sensory motor OCD worse. So I would, avoid maybe going to certain places, maybe washing my hands or avoiding, germs. I was just afraid that it would make me super uncomfortable. I also was afraid I had, serious issues that I didn't have, that, made me really uncomfortable for long periods. And for me with those, I think I just got to a point where when I did the exposures, it became a very logical thing for me where I was able to be like, hey, even though I feel this way or my brain is telling me this, I'm eating these foods because scientifically I'm not allergic to them. And this was a compulsion I did for years, but it was kind of easy for me to get over in that aspect where I just kind of made myself do it. I'm going to be honest. And then I would say with the exercising, and this is something that up until probably a year ago, I didn't realize it, but I was still compulsively exercising sometimes. Not to the extent that I was, but when I first got into my recovery, I was exercising a lot because it was a good distraction, but it was more of a compulsion. So I at one point made myself not really work out for a long period just to make myself uncomfortable. And I'll find myself, my brain, when I'm I guess when I would be really uncomfortable or something, it'd be like, oh, you need to work out 5 days a week, you need to do this, you need to do that. So when I work out now, I work out, I work out 5 days a week now. Just started a few weeks ago because I hurt myself, couldn't really work out. But I do it in a way where none of my workouts are planned. I exercise, I break a sweat. I have a diet, but it's not if there's an oatmeal raisin cookie, I'm going to eat it every single time, But, I'm not eating bags and bags of potato chips kind of thing. So with health OCD, I would say that the biggest thing for me was creating a balance in my life, and then also really using rationality with my exposures with the food I was eating, and really looking at the physical compulsions that I was doing, and making myself be uncomfortable for a long time and not doing those behaviors. And that's the biggest thing that helped me. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and I appreciate your time.